Hello everyone, today I'm going to be sharing a really easy and delicious recipe for Mexican street corn, or Elóte Mexicano if you speak Spanish. You've probably seen it at the state fair, or for sure if you've been to Mexico, because it's really popular, and with good reason, because it's really good. It's basically your fresh corn made creamy and cheesy with just a hint of spice. And now you don't have to go to the state fair or to Mexico to have some. You can just make it right at home, eat it on its own, or serve it as a side dish at your next barbecue. Here's what you're going to need. All you need is the corn, mayonnaise, butter, cotija cheese, and chili powder or paprika. Everything else that I have here is optional. I've got some sour cream that I like to mix into the mayo, and I've got some chives fresh from my garden, and I'm gonna try Tajin this time. Before I get started, I'm going to put these refrigerated ingredients back in the fridge because I won't be using them for a while. And now I can remove the husks and silk from the corn. I'm only going to be using 3 ears of corn for the purposes of this video, and once I've got them all cleaned out, I'm going to take a knife and cut off just the very bottom of each of them. This will make it easier for me to insert a wooden skewer into the center of the cob once it's been cooked. I've already got a pot of boiling water over the stove, and to it I'm going to add about a teaspoon of coarse salt. I'll put in the corn, cover it with the lid, and let it cook for about 30 minutes. When the corn is almost done, you'll want to set up your prep station. I'm putting the cotija cheese in a bowl. If you're not familiar with this kind of cheese, it should be crumbly, so you may need to break it up a bit. Then I'm going to chop up my chives, which again are optional, but mixed in with the cheese, it'll give it a good taste, not to mention it adds pretty flecks of green color. A more popular option is cilantro, which I'm not too crazy about, but if you are, add it in there. Just chop it up really fine and mix it in. I'm also going to cut a lime into wedges just to have on the side. The great thing about Mexican street corn is it's completely customizable. Now you'll want to put your mayonnaise in a bowl. You only need mayo for this recipe, but as I mentioned earlier, I like to add sour cream to it. You don't need to measure, just add what you think you'll use. What this does is help the cheese stick to the corn. Then melt about half a stick of butter in a small bowl. I'm going to put mine in the microwave about 30 to 40 seconds. I've got my chili powder and Tajin ready to go, and some heavy-duty wooden skewers, so we're all set. Let's check on the corn. After 30 minutes, it's fully cooked, so I'll go ahead and take it out of the pot. Before adding any of the other ingredients, you'll want to insert the skewers into the base of the corn. You have to be careful because the corn is really hot, so I'm using a kitchen towel to hold it with one hand. Once you've got them in there firmly, you can now hold the corn from the skewer while you prepare them. You first brush on the melted butter, making sure every kernel gets covered. Then you slather on the mayo, or in my case, the mayo and sour cream combination. I know it looks like a lot, but this is what makes Mexican elote so creamy and delicious. And like I said earlier, it helps the cheese stick to it, which is what we're going to add next. You also have to keep in mind this is a treat. It's not something you would eat every day, just like you wouldn't eat funnel cake or a corn dog every day. But if you're at the fair or it's a special occasion, you've got to have it, right? Finally, I'm going to sprinkle this with Tajin. You can use chili powder or paprika, just go with what you like. And look how beautiful this is. I should have known I can't get through a video without my dog making a cameo. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Miley, being an expert photo bomber. And now I can finish preparing the rest of the corn and garnish at least one of them with chili powder. There's this really dumb movie called Nacho Libre with Jack Black. And I'm really embarrassed to say I've seen it a million times. I've even got all the lines memorized. And there's a couple of parts that have to do with this Mexican street corn. And that's kind of what's playing in my mind right now, because basically it's my family's anthem. And now I can finally taste it, and my mouth is already watering. I like to squeeze just a little bit of fresh lime on it, but again, this is optional. Just gives it a little fresh taste to it. And I gotta warn you, it is messy, so bear with me here. I need a napkin, but this is fantastic. You've got all these wonderful flavors mixed together, the fresh corn and the cheese that I love, and then just a little hint of that spice. This is something that I would say don't eat on a first date, because you don't want them to see you looking like this. But outside of that, make this anytime. In fact, right now, while corn is in season, it is just delicious. I hope you like it. Thanks so much for checking out my video. If there's a specific recipe you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. I post one new recipe every week at Marcy Inspired, so be sure to subscribe, like, and click the notification bell. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.